Okay, Elena, it's nice to
Okay,
see you.
nice to see you.
Okay, well, you're going to be doing this interview for the Summit for Accessible Homes. And I'm going to ask you a couple questions that I'd appreciate you answering for me.
Sure.
Um, and the first one that I have for you, well, I guess let me just give a quick introduction to you. Your abilities to come back from what you've had, your disabling scenario, which I really want you to talk about in your
Mhm.
details if you could. But that's been inspiring to me, and that's really why I love having you on this. It's going to be spectacular for
Thank
you to
you.
tell your story and all the good stuff that you have along with it. So if
Sure.
you would please do that for us. Would you give a backstory about what brought you to where you're at today?
Well, I was passionate throughout my career. It was in real estate and mortgages for the most part. I was in that for 17 years. I was top producer for my company at Prudential in Bonita Springs, Florida for 5 years straight out of all the agents that put me in the top 2% in the country. So I did really well and really enjoyed it. And prior to that, I had been in the mortgage brokerage business. Had my own company and managed several other firms for other people. Worked at several banks. Um, and that experience really molded me to have a good understanding of the law and the construction and everything from start to finish, as far as the mortgage process, the inspection process, different levels of construction. So I've got a really good understanding of the finance process and the home buying and building experience. So um, I really enjoyed what I did. I loved my career. And then in 2014, I became sick with Guillen Barre, which is an autoimmune disease that my nervous system attacked. No, I'm sorry, my immune system attacked my nervous system. And I was on life support. I had a trach, a feeding tube, the whole thing. So I was paralyzed from head to toe, couldn't talk or anything. And mainly I would just pray. And my prayer one day was answered. When I was saying the Our Father, my prayer was answered. And I knew I'd be okay from that point on. I knew to fight. And again, as I said, that was in 2014. And from there, it was slow, but I've come back, not completely. I'm still in a wheelchair, but I obviously breathe. I had to learn how to speak all over again and eat. So I have overcome a lot of challenges, and now living independently with my disability. I've got my daughter with me full time, and my life is just a blessing. So I'm trying to apply what I've had in the past as far as my goals and everything I was striving for with my career, and put into that with my my disability awareness and everything that I've experienced since 2014, and merge the two, and hopefully try to help other people gain their independence and live a lifestyle where they don't have to be depending on an institution. Also, with the amount of people that are here that have challenges with mobility, I'd like to try to walk them through the process, whether it be construction, a new build, or modifying a home.
So
It's really.
on that note, let me just
Mhm,
break in a second. Let's talk
mhm,
about that
mhm,
because what I see from you and the inspirational story, your comeback, the ability for you to even be here today, it's
mhm,
pretty cool. So now you've crossed that major bridge of near death experience, and
mhm.
you're bringing to others the ability to I guess let's call it advocate. You're an advocate now to be able
Right.
to promote your skills, your ability to make a comeback to others. So give me a specific thing. Let's just take the advocacy for people that have really emotional problems trying to overcome where they're at.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, my thing is, right now there's not a lot of resources, and I know for myself, when I was reaching out and trying to find services, there really wasn't a lot. So um, I'm really, proactive on trying to put that together. If it's not there, let's make it. It's my outlook. So I've been really key on organizing some peer groups, support groups, or people that are disabled. We've also had some CrossFit sessions where we've got um, disabled people that have, they'll come in and we have volunteers that'll help them with the equipment and the machinery to where they can work out. So it's all about inclusion, and also, just reaching out. And my whole thing is, there's a whole world out there of people that are like me. And if there's not a service or, a product or something that they need locally, then, obviously there's a gap. And my thing is, let's try to fill in the gap. Let's create something for people to have an easier chance at, getting through things, and not just to live, but to thrive, So it's just got to be easier than it is. It's really hard as it is, living as a disabled person, but the support is lacking. So,
Well, regarding, you know what I'm all about, basically, in terms of as a contractor builder. My whole thing was to be able to get people the ability to live in an accessible home. That's what this whole summit is about anyways, finding ways, whether it's through contracting or advocacy or specific products, real estate, etc. So in terms of what you know about, let's talk about existing homes. Let's talk about retrofitting existing homes. How can you help somebody from your side of the equation know what my side of the equation does?
Well, the first thing for me would be to kind of, do a run through the house, or I'd say a walk through, but a walk through, punch list, and, put myself in the person's position as far as, what are we going to need to modify to make it easier for them? We go from the front door to the back door, anything from, door handles from doorknobs. That could be, as you get older and get arthritis, it can be really hard for people to turn doorknobs. Something as simple like that, turn it into a handle, can make it really user-friendly for people. Kitchens, kitchens can be more accessible for people in wheelchairs, or, people that don't want to lift or to bend. So we can customize a kitchen or retrofit a kitchen. And they even have new appliance packages now that, cater to people with disabilities. Showers and bathrooms are huge. So, to even do a roll-in shower, or, sinks that you can roll under. There's so many different options to make things more accessible. So for me, my job is just to kind of do a run through and give them options, from what I've experienced and what I know would make it easier for them to, to get through their home and to live a good life. So I know with being disabled, there's so much of like making things work and adapting things to work. It doesn't have to be like that. So I'm just here to try to see if I can make it easier for people.
Well, when you've been an integral part of putting a lot of this together with me, and the ability to take something from scratch like what we started with, to be able to get these people to actually listen to this summit for accessible homes is pretty impressive. What have you been doing in this world to try to get more and more people involved?
Just reaching out, trying to do what I can to seek out people that are doing things and really motivating people. I strive to get to people that are inspiring and uplifting. I've reached out locally in my community, and I just try to get to people that are helping others, whether it be foundations or friends that I know of, or people even online. It's all about networking, and just take people that have common goals and put them together for a common good. So that's where I'm at.
Well, yeah, you've been doing an unbelievable job. I know people are highly impressed by your knowledge, both from their perspective, mainly from an advocacy situation, but you have such a range of knowledge in so many things. So let's talk about something you already alluded to. Let's talk about the financing and the real estate coaching that you're capable of helping somebody with, because there's me knowing what's not existing here in Southwest Florida is true throughout the country. There are virtually no homes that cater to people that need that have mobility challenges.
Right.
Very few accessible homes out there in the market, if any. Can you tell me what you know, what you can do to help those people?
Well, I work closely with people in the area, and whether it be something that's on the market or whether it be to build a new home. I've got a good niche, in the area here. So my main thing is just to try to, seek out the inventory, do a comparison. I like to kind of preview things from, as if I was the buyer, and compare it before my customers would even actually go see the property. So I act as a consultant, preview the properties online, and just do kind of a general search as far as what's available. The problem being is it's such a hot market right now that by the time that a disabled person would get to actually see a property, there's 10 other people behind them. So I've got some tricks where we can get creative and target things that aren't necessarily going to be what everybody else is looking at. So sometimes you just have to get creative and use your networking and go outside the box and make things work. The building aspect is really good right now because you're buying into today's prices, and as the values continue to increase, you're locking in today on a property that'll be built within maybe 9 months. So in that 9 months, that value is going to continue to appreciate. So that's a great opportunity right now for somebody to build because the values are just going through the roof. So it's a good time. The rates are still super low, and on a 30-year loan, your mortgage is going to be cheaper than your rent. And a lot of people just don't think that they can qualify. And the mortgages are really, really easy right now for, little to no money down. So, it's exciting. And you just have to know how to structure it. And I've done everything from people with no social security numbers from Germany called foreign nationals to construction to first-time home buyers. So there's a lot of opportunity. You just have to connect with the right people.
Well, one good thing that you're talking to yours truly now,
Mm-hmm.
who has built barrier-free and accessible homes. So I guess between the both of us, you can guide these people to what I may know and be able to help them, because we build barrier-free homes exclusively now. That's all we do.
Right.
But we also incorporate into this the universal design features, which are spectacular. Tell me what you know about universal design and what you know about barrier-free construction and why it's so important.
Well, it was important to me, not just for the today buyer, somebody that's going to be, say, able-bodied, but, you've got right now there's a demand for open floor plan anyway. People like things open. So the whole concept of like an open living space and wider doors and, that's something that whether you're, in a wheelchair or not is, the popular build style anyway. So right now with the accessible floor plans, it can be with somebody that's disabled, or it could be for somebody that's, able-bodied. I know that we've got six floor plans that are tailored towards being accessible, floor plans for people in a wheelchair or mobility challenged. That being said, what I like to say is the things that are going to be an advantage, mainly for somebody like me, would be the larger door openings, potentially, no need for steps and ramps. Things like that are huge because when you're talking about going and taking an existing home and modifying it, you could spend $50,000 to $75,000 just to make it where you can live in it. Never mind just buying it from scratch and moving right in without having to modify. So there's a lot of advantage right now to the building aspect, and I'm just really excited about it. As I was saying, as far as the wider door openings, having the roll-in showers, accessible kitchens, from start to finish, without having the whole, the breakdown of what we need to do to customize for that particular person. I mean, that's going to be huge when we customize for, one certain, it's going to be like a retrofit, per person. We're going to be able to customize their home for them. Nobody's doing that right now. So I'm just really excited about that. I think that that's going to be huge for whoever our potential buyer may be. I'm excited to help people like that.
Well, we know right now there's, whether you're a senior or whether you've got physical challenges, that what you alluded to, the 0 steps, the ability to walk in the shower versus having to step over a tub. There's just so much that can be involved in this. And
Right.
if you're in a chair, which you are, you know, you completely understand why this is so needed. And there is none down. I'm telling you, I built 6 of these things and they went like hotcakes. They're gone. So
Right.
what's a beautiful thing is when you can interact with people, whether they're from up north in Snowville or they're down here and they want to build a home anywhere in the country, that they want to come to Southwest Florida to get an accessible home, we can provide that for them through you and your expertise, which is phenomenal. I want to ask you a couple more questions here. You as let's say a business and lifestyle coach, if somebody were to come to you and want to utilize your services, basically give me just a general rundown of what you would want to provide for them.
I'm on a positivity path. My thing is basically creating a pathway to a healthier future, whether that's habit breaking or whether that's motivation. My past has been that I've been a peer mentor, and in that I'm trying to put together some groups as well. So I've always been a leader, and that role just kind of falls into my lap. I have reached out, and what I think is going to work the best for me is going to be to put some groups together and try to mentor people, and take it from where they may need to have counseling or have I'm going to start that part over. I'm going to tell you that what I have to do for people is get them to where they enjoy their lives. And that's what I'm going to take a hold of. That's what I'm going to run with. Whether it's, there's so many different things out there on lifestyle and, adapting to make it a positive from a negative. I've turned my whole life around, and I'm just excited to do that with other people. And my past has been peer mentorship and accountability, and I'm going to bring that forward and combine that with coaching. And I think it's really going to be great, whether it's people that are trying to get a break from maybe habits or issues in relationships, to whether it's somebody that's disabled and just wants somebody to talk to and keep them accountable. I'm
let
here.
me ask you a quick question. The ability for you as a businesswoman, being from the let's call it the disabled world, what about those people that want to follow in your path from a business perspective, not only from a lifestyle perspective, but I guess business is a part of a lifestyle, but can you give a little guidance there as to how you may take them from, so often the disabled are discriminated against and they can't get the kind of jobs that they need, or if they are entrepreneurial, they don't know where to go. What can you do for them?
I'm really good at resume building and creating opportunities. There's several local agencies that I've joined with lately, that are within the community that will also help them with job placement. You just have to kind of, walk through all the positives. You want to focus on the positives. And that's my job, is to kind of pull that out of people. A lot of times in this position, you've got people that, sometimes it takes an outsider to see the things that should be plugged in, or all the positives. When you ask somebody to list all the things about themselves, sometimes they don't know what would look good on a resume. So, and it could be leadership, or it could be organizational, it could be things that just might be personality characteristics versus experience in a job. So that's where I'm at, is just being creative and trying to think outside the box. I mean, not just go regular where 100 other people are going to be applying for a job. I get creative and network a lot and have a lot of people that I intermix with. So that's it. And I just teach people how to use the services to their advantage. So my coaching is going to be from start to finish, from teaching them how to do a resume and focus on the positives and skills versus the negatives. So,
Okay, well, how about this?
mhm.
Of all the people that I know, I've made more mistakes than anybody else I know. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, I've made a lot. I want to tell you, well, of course, I'm older than most, but I got to tell you, I've made a lot. But here's something I want you to address, because out of failure, out of mistakes, as long as you don't hide your head in the sand,
Mhm.
and you come out of it with a positivity like what you're talking about, that's
Mhm.
phenomenal stuff. And I'm
Yeah.
proud of that part. I'm happy that I didn't bury my head in the sand, but
Right.
you have never buried your head in the sand. And one of the things I need you to talk about is your years of sobriety scenario.
Mhm.
Talk to the people out there about the mistakes you made regarding that and how you came back from that.
It was hard. I didn't know that I had a disease, back in before the injury, or, before I was paralyzed. I just knew that I was in a tremendous amount of pain. And when I was going to doctors, everybody just wanted to put a Band-Aid on a broken arm. I was prescribed a ton of pills and just take this. And I just thought it was okay because I was taking it as prescribed. That led into a physical addiction. And, I like to say it's more of an addiction of the soul. You lose your soul. And, when you get into drug abuse. I think just the way it was prescribed was abusive. Just the amount of medicine they had me taking, there was no way I couldn't be physically addicted. And, I didn't realize it at the time. But one story to the next, I ended up, things fell apart. It ended up taking control of my life, and I didn't like it, and a lot of bad stuff happened that normally wouldn't have happened had I not been in the state of mind that I was in. So I decided to fix it, and I ended up getting a sponsor, going to meetings, doing a 12-step program, went to parenting classes for my daughter, did a drug program for my daughter. You had a lot of different things that, took time to work through emotionally. And that was back around 2012, 2013, before I got injured. So, and today I'm still in recovery. I have my same sponsor that I've had, since 2012. And I just still focus on service. That's the biggest thing that keeps me sober, is to continue to work out my emotional, hiccups, I should say. When I have a bad day, it helps me to come outside myself and not dwell. And, I've gotten myself diagnosed, so I know that I have disease, and I wasn't going crazy. But at this point, I just look like it's service. This is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's okay.
You know what I've noticed since we get together quite often, and we talk all the time.
Mhm.
And I have some broken fingers from my rugby days. Okay, but my broken fingers are nothing in comparison with the way you have to utilize your hands. And
Mhm.
what I see you do on a daily basis is you're constantly on the phone, you're constantly interacting with people, and you're doing it with hands that are very difficult to manipulate. I'm so proud of you to go through
Thank you.
what you go through. It's really
Mhm.
cool,
I didn't think
and
about that. Mhm.
I know the way people react to you. And it's
Mhm.
spectacular because I'm seeing things that I never saw before. So
Mhm.
I happen to have COPD, okay,
Mhm.
which is nowhere near the problems that a person like you has, and or so many people that I go do work for in the retrofit world. So I watch you, and I see what you do, and
Mhm.
I see the impact you have on people. And it inspires the hell out of me on a daily
Good.
basis. Okay.
Thank
I, you
you.
know, I needed to tell you that, and I needed to tell the world that, because that's the kind of person that they're getting here.
Mhm.
When you talk to Ileana, you're going to see some things, and you interact with what she has. You're going to see some spectacular things. So, Ileana, I'm going to finalize this in a minute. But is there any like last words that you want to give the people? You want to tell people that may have disabilities or don't have disabilities? And you know what was cool? And I'm talking too much, but you
That's
use
okay.
the words. You put an X through the word dis.
Yeah,
And you said if
disability.
people, that's right.
Mhm.
Talk about that, please.
My whole thing is just to focus on the abilities, and I want to put a big old disc in the disc, you know? So, that's my thing. I just focus on the abilities. Don't focus on what you can't do, focus on what you can. And that's just how I'm trying to live my life. That's it.
Well, that's spectacular stuff. Okay, so if people want to get a hold of you, how are they going to do it?
They can shoot me a text at 239-440-3455, or check me out on Facebook, or I've got Instagram and all that, but I'm more personal. I'd rather a phone call.
Okay, and as far as your email goes, what can they use?
It's Ileana Hamel at Gmail.
Could you spell that for them?
ILEANAHAMEL at gmail.com.
Very good. Well, it's been a lot of fun doing this. You make a lot of sense. Okay.
I try.
Yes. And
Don't tell my mom that, right?
yeah. Okay. Well, bottom line is thank you so much. And this interview's been great.
Yeah,
And
thank you, Mike.
yes, and we're going to be getting in touch, having people get in touch with you in whatever way possible to make this thing work. Okay.
Awesome. Love you much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cool. That went good. Thanks, Lane.